medics. Sometimes you hate them, sometimes you love them, but you need them. Now, I've done this whole series about why everyone hates this branch, that branch, jokingly, and this is poking fun at some of the medics that are out there, and by extension, I'm going to also include Corpsman into this realm because there's a lot of similarities no matter which branch you're in, as I feel the horror stories of military and medicine are going to be put down in the comments below trying to discredit a medic that they've known. But I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons here that you're going to see hate thrown their way. Number 1 here is you might feel a little faint, a little woozy. You might not even know what's going on around you because you're in an altered mental state and you didn't drink water, you didn't eat, and you've just almost fell out of the hike, or you already have, and you're going crazy and your legs are shaking, you're going nuts. Guess what? This. No, not this. Actually, it's going to be a thermometer that people commonly know as the silver bullet. Now, the silver bullet all the way to the base up there, you don't need a little bit, right? But it is notoriously known that if you fall out, you're bound to get one of these silver bullets, as it is required to get a core temperature to know if you're into heat stroke, heat exhaustion, etc. But I will tell you that this is something that most Marines know about, that I know. And I will say on top of that, if you are a Marine, you should know the difference between your colors, because the Marine Corps knows about crayons, knows about colors. So I figured that's why they've color-coded thermometers. If it's red, don't put it in your mouth. There's a reason why. So that is my fair warning to all you guys. And if you are going to use it, at least clean it. But I would not use that. Also, some of you guys are still unsubscribed. Thanks, YouTube, for alternative news and stuff like that. Thank you for unsubbing people. But that's where I come in here. And I'm reminding you, keep looking down there, because for some reason, it is unsubscribing people. Double check. Make sure if you were subscribed, you're resubscribed. And if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate if I've earned your sub today. Thank you. My number 2 reason here. Most medics and corpsmen are known as Motrinslinging guys that are out there just throwing Motrin, Tylenol, and telling them, you'll be fine. But to be fair, I mean, Motrin works, right? The funny thing about it is the fact that most people don't go to medical or go to get seen for a lot of stuff that people in the military are going to get seen for, especially because there is free healthcare. I have to say, like, in the civilian world, people are just buying this stuff over the counter and be like, all right, I'll take it. It's not like we're going to create some new medication that's life-altering that no one else ever has access to. And we're not giving out narcotics. Corpsmen don't have that privilege to even write for anything crazy like that. So if you're mad that Corpsmen only have Tylenol or Motrin, it's because they didn't go to school for 8 years to go be a doctor, because doctors have that privilege to do that. They have this accessibility to prescribe those things. They just go through 16 weeks of school. I think it's maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure how long the Army medics are or the Air Force, but yeah, there's limited capability that's being entrusted. If you look at it, the military medics and corpsmen are doing more than any credentialed person that would have that same amount of training or is able to do in the civilian world, because it's always credentialed and everything else like that. But medics and corpsmen are allowed to do a lot of autonomous things, and even giving some basic meds, while it doesn't seem like much, is actually a pretty big deal in the civilian world. My third thing here is not getting sick in quarters, out of work, or what they want. So I would wrap this all together as that, because, you're feeling sick. You don't feel good. You don't want to go into work. You don't even want to put on the uniform. But your shop, your job, whatever, makes you go into medical in order to receive one slip of paper to say, I'm not going to be at work today. And that could already take up half your day, and you might as well have went to work anyway. Number 4 here is usually likely has long hair. If you don't know this, Doc is probably going to have long hair, and likely a mustache. That's very much pushing every bit of regulation that you could ever think of. But not a soul is going to say anything to him, because he's Doc in that sense. So when you look at this, it is a hate that many Marines do have for Navy corpsmen. I'm not sure if this same sentiment does cross boundaries into the Army as well, but I will say it is a quite ironic thing that people have noticed this trend amongst the medics that are out there. The 5th one here is Doc is likely going to get away with a lot more than anyone else. That working party for E3 and below, probably not going to apply to Doc. He's got somewhere to be, something to do. He's got bigger and badder problems. And if anything, he's got to observe what's what's going on as it's happening because he's medical coverage. If he's supposed to be watching what's going on and supposed to be the person that's not involved in safety, he should be there to respond in case someone does get hurt. And that is why Doc is seen as not doing anything but doing everything all at the same time. But these are some of the things that I have noticed in the hate towards medics that people talk about. There are plenty more. I'm sure there are horror stories out there. Sure, leave them down below. But I will say, but this is just out of plain old fun. Not everyone hates medics, but there are sometimes they dislike them. So if you have your own stories, your own points that I missed here, please leave those down in the comments below. If you guys support what we do here, you can always support over at patreon.com for special perks and benefits. On top of that, you can also help over at the YouTube join button below this video for special perks and benefits here on YouTube. As always, if you guys have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.